I love lesbians. I want the world to know I love lesbians, and it's gonna show. Hello and good morning, Scullies. Welcome back to the Lesbian Masterdoc Series for the last time. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe we made it all the way to the end. For those who don't know me, my name is Savonne Pearson. I like to talk about things that people don't really like to talk about, including the LGBT community, as well as mental health, especially within the Black community. I have seriously loved doing this series. I've loved going through your comments and reading what you have to say. I picked my favorite comment from the last video that I want to share with you guys, so I'll read that momentarily. I just want to thank you guys so much for the endless support that you guys have given me from doing this series. I know that you guys may feel like I'm validating you, but in a sense you're validating me, because it's like crazy to think that other women have gone through the same things that I've gone through. So I just want to thank you guys so much for supporting me, and thank you for helping me feel a lot less alone. Even though this series is coming to an end, there's still so many different things to talk about, so just let me know in the comments what other things you would like me to cover. I know there are different types of lesbians out there. I can talk about masc-presenting, femmes, or just talking about asexual lesbians versus aromantic lesbians. That's definitely something I want to look more into, so if you guys want me to do some more videos like that, I can definitely do that. Don't look at my phone case. I know it's absolutely hideous. It still has the glue from when I hot glued my pop socket. Look, my new case is coming in, and I'm just always really embarrassed by this case. I don't know if you guys saw in my biphobic video, but I actually was using my little sister's phone because this case is hideous and I can't do it anymore. So don't judge me here. So I'm going to be reading my favorite comment. It is a little long, but come on guys, I'm trying to stretch this out as long as I can, okay? I really don't want to go either. So this comment is from Ren Furos. She said, I've personally started considering lesbianism being sapphic just last month, so I'm still pretty much a baby with questioning. But while watching this Masterdoc series and your other videos on the topic, it has really helped me a lot with my journey and slowly coming to terms with my sexuality. Thank you so much for providing this content. Thank you so much for watching. In the past, a lot of my uncertainty towards considering myself a lesbian came from never daring to explore the possibility of being more than just friends with other girls. Same. In high school, I used to think that friendship was all there because I was like, with these boy crushes I have, there's no way I could feel the same about a girl, right? Right. Even though now that I'm looking back, I only ever crushed on men because I was attracted to their aesthetic. Yes. Yeah, and I had some questionable tastes as well. You would also see for me, like, when you look back at the dudes I've dated, not that I'm going to show you pictures of them, but when you look back at them, you could see that they're, like, vastly different. Like, I just chose whatever, and I was more so like, he has his quirkiness about him, and that's what I like. I don't know. Rather than actually wanting to pursue a serious relationship. That's interesting. Learning the difference between romantic, sexual, and aesthetic attraction was probably the first big hurdle I had to overcome to be able to unpack how I really felt about girls, and possibly being on the ace spectrum on top of that. See, this is one of the things I was mentioning earlier with going into more of the different types of lesbianism. I think lesbianism is such a cringy word. Can we just kill that after that? I was just trying to follow the Masterdoc format, and the more I say lesbianism, the more I'm just like, Do you guys feel that way too? But like I was saying, this is what I mean by just the different types of lesbians, essentially. We're going into the ace spectrum and just seeing those types of things. So let me know if you guys want me to do more of an in-depth video on that, because that's something that I don't truly know much more about, but I would definitely love to explore it and let you guys know what I find. And if you are an ace lesbian or anything like that, let me know in the comments so that I can talk about you accurately. I do not like to inaccurately portray people. I do my best here, but I just want to make sure that, beyond my research, you guys can tell me how you feel, so I don't have to tell you how you feel. You get me? And for me, the journey to finding that answer kind of feels like exploring a whole other world, that I never knew existed. A part of me that finally gets to express herself in a way that she never got to before. Yep, it feels so good not denying my feelings anymore. Yes, I completely understand. That's exactly how I feel too. Thank you so much for leaving a comment. In order for you to be featured in my video as my favorite comment, you have to answer the question of the day. Hey y'all, so I'm sitting here editing and I'm super upset because I realized that my mic went out for the remainder of the rest of the video. So basically the entire video my mic was out. My laptop is like literally right in front of where it is recording from, and so that's why you're hearing a little bit of a muffled sound. So I'm super sorry. I would have reshot it, but like, so just enjoy it for what it is. I'm so sorry again for the audio, but I will do better in the next video. So today we're going to be talking about exploring your attraction to women. So the question of the day I will have is, when did you first explore your attraction to women, and how was that for you? Tell me the story of it. You don't got to give me the grimy details unless you want to, but just tell me, how was that for you? Because I know my first time exploring attraction to women, it was like a completely new experience. And it wasn't even in like just a sexual way. It was just like holding hands or just being near them. It just was, being near her, it was just completely different than I have ever felt with a guy. So yeah, let me know your little embarrassing stories or just stories down below. Before we get straight into it, make sure you like this video, comment down below answering the question of the day, or if you have any questions about anything I have to say, or if you want to tell me what you want to see in the lesbian infomercial that will be coming after the finale. Yes, I'm super excited. Please let me know what you want to see in it. I want to make sure that it's more interactive, so I put my humor into it as well as you guys. We just kind of, just throw some spice in there. So yeah, make sure you comment down below and also subscribe to join Scully Gang, and make sure you turn on the notification bell so you know when I post. Oh, and last thing, if you're wondering where I got this very, very lovely shirt from, you can go ahead and check them out at Gay Girl Clothing on Instagram. You would have seen the last shirt in my last video, and this is the other shirt I got for them. I love lesbians. It's literally true. I love all women, but lesbians, we're just a certain kind of cool. I'm just saying. Everybody on the LGBT spectrum is cool, but the lesbians, we got that. So yeah, if you want to get a shirt like mine or a shirt like you've seen in the last episode, go ahead and follow her on Instagram at Gay Girl Clothing. I'm all about supporting a Black business, and so should you be. So today we're going to be talking about exploring attraction to women. I cannot believe we're really at the end. We went from questioning our sexuality to realizing that comp head is a thing to now we're going to be exploring finally our attraction to women. Feeling like you could live with a woman in a romantic way, even if you can't imagine doing anything sexual with a woman. So this one I was a little like scratching my head on, because I'm just living. I think what they mean is live. I'm just going to go on the assumption that they mean living as in like staying with a woman. And for that reason, and if we're talking about in that way, absolutely. I couldn't, for example, my first girlfriend, this is the only experience I had, y'all. I'm sorry that I keep just blowing it up, but look. So for example, my first girlfriend, she kind of basically moved in with me, and we lived together, definitely romantically. We're holding hands, we're doing all of that, we're sleeping in the same bed. However, I just could not think of doing having sex with her, in a sense. So we weren't doing that yet. We were friends, but I could definitely in that time imagine it was fine. I could definitely live with her romantically without having imagined it sexually. Is that I'm guessing this is what it's saying. Now, as far as before coming out, no, I never even thought about living with a woman in a romantic way ever. That's cool, but I never thought about it in a sense. And it's crazy now, I've mentioned all these shows that I watch, like The Fosters or Pretty Little Liars, and I'm realizing wow, it was right there in my face, but I never imagined it for myself, Feeling like you can enjoy sexual interaction with women, even if you can't imagine having romantic feelings for a woman. Yes, this is exactly how I felt. When I said going into college, I was oh, definitely. I could definitely explore with a woman, but never be in a relationship with them, because no, I'm going to be with a man eventually, because this is what media and everybody has told me I'm going to do, so that's what's going to happen. But no. Thinking you couldn't be a lesbian because you're not attractive enough, cool enough, or otherwise in the same league as most of the women you know. my entire life, I never felt like I measured up to the women around me. And I always felt this like sense of like, I'm different. And I never embraced it until now, if you want me to be honest with you, until college, until graduating college. I've never really embraced who I am. You know, I spent some of college and most of high school and all of middle school and elementary school being so uncomfortable around other women because I didn't feel like I measured up to them. It was always some like key difference in a sense of, you know, I'm not super girly. I've always been tomboyish, and you know, in the behind the scenes, I was literally gay. So I just like, it was a different experience because I didn't feel like I was like other women. And so how could I like women and be like other women? It was super confusing. And then on top of that, I just always had this like super, 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 super low self-esteem. Like, you cannot tell me anything. I thought I was the ugliest thing walking on this planet. I'm not playing with you. And it's not until now that I'm really starting to walk into my own and really cultivate the look and the person that I want to be. And now I feel more outwardly the person that I've always felt inside. You know, I don't feel extremely uncomfortable in my body. Like, I love my body. I love myself. I've never been more in love with myself because I'm realizing all of these things about me and accepting me. And that's what you have to do. You need to accept you before anyone else will. You need to accept you. And so I'm getting really happy because like I'm getting these new glasses. I'll pop a picture up. They're not the exact color. I'm getting green, but this is like the color, like basically the style. And then I'm starting to dress more androgynous into things that like I just feel like I'm coming into me, and that makes me super, super happy. Interacting with het, sex/romance in media by imagining yourself in the man's position, or just never/rarely imagining yourself in the woman's position. Okay. So like I didn't really start imagining myself sexually as the man until I came out. And it was just like one day where I was like, oh my God, like I watched porn one time where I was like, I want to be him. And you know, I've always been a person it's okay, tell me if you guys can relate. This might be TMI. But I've always watched lesbian porn. But it wasn't until I came out that I could watch straight porn and stomach it. Like, I was like, oh, because I was imagining myself being the guy. And I don't know if this is like a common thing that people come into, but like, it's funny because like all the lesbians I know, they tell me like, I watch straight porn. I'm like, that's so weird. Like, we're gay. But then I came out and then I realized like, oh, so maybe it's that, like, is it that we're getting that? And so I don't know. But is that, tell me, do you guys feel the same way? Have you experienced this? Speaking of porn, really focusing on the women and heterosexual porn. Absolutely, absolutely. I would just stare at her facial expressions. The only thing that I could get off on was the sound of a woman's moan. You could not tell me anything. All I needed to hear was a moan. I just closed my eyes, heard that moan, and I was there with her. Being really into the idea of kissing/being sexual with a woman to turn guys on. No, I do not stand for being sexual with a woman for male pleasure. I can't. No, that's never been me. But I'm not shaming you if you have ever felt that way, but just the idea of like doing it for a man, because I've been in a situation like that where I kind of like, I'm not fully comfortable sharing all of it, but I will say I've been in a situation like that where I've had to do that, and I just felt disgusting. Like, I didn't feel like that was for his eyes, so I never felt like I was doing it to turn guys on. If you felt like that, again, I'm not trying to shame you, but me personally, that's not something that I've ever been interested in, and it just, no, Being really annoyed when guys actually do express interest in watching or joining in when you do that. Exactly. Yeah, this is the exact reason why I felt like that before. Like, it's just like, why are you here? Like, in a sense, I guess if you're like doing it for, this sounds wrong, but I guess if you're like doing it for like money or personal gain, you know, because some people work for the porn industry, or maybe they're a cam girl or something, like, you know, doing that for male pleasure in a sense, and you're getting paid for it, girl, do what you gotta do. But as far as them being in the room, no, please, this is not for you. Sorry. It's just me and her. You need to go. only feeling / expressing to or sexual interest in women when you're inebriated or otherwise impaired. Why do they use such scientific terms? Okay, when you're drunk. We could just say that when you're drunk. So, the only feeling, I think, if you're only feeling that when you're drunk, that's something to question. But if you're only expressing it when you're drunk, okay, yeah, then that's, drunk minds, sober thoughts. What is it? Drunk actions or sober thoughts, something like that. When you're drunk, you do what you would do if you liquid courage or whatever, or when you're high or whatever, or maybe feeling that type of attraction when you're high. I don't know. I have not felt either being drunk or high, so I'm just like, no. I mean, it wouldn't be that I only expressed it or felt it in that sense. I definitely did express it more when I was high or drunk, I guess. I don't like getting drunk, so expressed it more when I was high, but like, it was nothing that wasn't already there, So I never felt like I was doing it because of I was under the influence or anything. Never been that. But if you guys experience that, let me know in the comments. Seeing a relationship between two women elicits a much stronger and more real emotional reaction than het relationships ever do. Absolutely. I'm telling you, Lena and Steph from the Fosters, I ship them to the end. I will always say that Marlene King from Pretty Little Liars, the little showrunner, the writer, she did Emily and Maya so dirty. They did not want Emily to ever be happy. Clearly, they just, why? Why do you have to do her so dirty? Why couldn't Maya just stay in the show? Why did they have to get it? Why did Allison have to divorce her? Why? Why couldn't she ever be happy? You get anxious around men and feel more comfortable in settings with women. I think this also goes into maybe being with women because you're uncomfortable around men. For me, I will definitely say, like, women make me nervous just in a general sense, so I'm like, oh my god, women. But I would say it just depends on the type of people. So, like, if it's men I know, I can definitely feel comfortable. However, if it's just like a room full of men I don't know, I would definitely be more uncomfortable than being in a room full of women I don't know. That's just a whole other two different sides of the spectrum. So, yeah, I can definitely relate in a sense of being more comfortable in settings with women. You have very high standards for men you might date and comparatively lower standards when it comes to women. I feel like I just got slapped in the face. Y'all, I'm telling you, like, I was so desperate when I was with a woman. It was like she could do anything. And I'd just be like, oh my god, it's okay. I love you. It's fine. Like, I put up with so much because I loved her and she was a woman, and that's it. I truly did not know what people were talking about when they were like, oh, your first love. They'll never let you go. You can never let go of it. Oh, your first love. You're going to do all this stupid stuff for them. Yes, I didn't feel that with dudes, but with girls, yes. I thought it was all a myth, and it wasn't. I was Boo-Boo the fool for that girl. Being mistaken for a couple with one of your girlfriends is exciting for you, absolutely. And being mistaken for a couple with one of your guy friends elicits no reaction or feels weird or wrong. Yeah, I'm like, no. When it's a girl, like the girl, my first girlfriend, like when it was with her and people thought we were together, I'd be like, and she'd be like, no. And I'd be like, yeah, no. But with guys, it would be the opposite. I'd be like, no. And they'd be like, and I'd be like, no. And the last one is none of your girlfriend's partners are ever good enough for them. And you take it very personally and you don't feel the same way about the men that you're friends with. No, this is not something. I didn't feel that protective of my girlfriends when it came to their partners because most of the time I was also in relationships, so I really did not have that type of connection with them. And when I did have crushes on women, they were single, so I didn't really have to deal with that. But yeah. But if you guys have experienced that, again, let me know in the comments. Let me know your stories. I know what you're thinking. It's really the end. I know. I just want to thank you guys so much
for going through this series with me. I have appreciated reading all of your comments and all your DMs. You guys have made me feel so happy to know that I am reaching someone out there. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, that means so much to me, and I love you guys so much, like truly. I appreciate you so much for supporting me, and I hope that you continue to stay on my channel because I definitely want to provide more content for you. So let me know in the comments below what types of things you would like to see. I will be coming out with the lesbian infomercial very, very soon, but this week I'm going to be posting a series that I'm really passionate about. I did an interview with two men where they discuss, one discusses having ADHD and one discusses being a man with bipolar disorder. I think it's really important for us to acknowledge men in mental health, especially Black men in mental health. It's really important to me that these men are understood just as much as women are when it comes to mental health, because I think there's a whole lot of slack gone to women that men don't have that same type of privilege. So I want to be able to share their stories as well, because I am very much so all-inclusive on this channel. I want to make sure that everyone is equally represented, essentially. So I really hope you guys stick around to support me on that series. Give it a watch. It's a very, very interesting interview, and I'm so glad to share this with you guys. Make sure you like this video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to join Scully Gang. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.